Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode on GTA 5 with that husky doggo racing around the streets of Los Santos as you do, and we've seen many times things can go wrong. This one launched off the back of, I think it was a Granger on two wheels past a Prius and still just about managing to make the corner. I mean, well done indeed for making that one stick. A NASCAR fan on the original Forza Horizon, meeting up with some people. Of course, anytime you try to gather people on a game, it tends to go a little bit wrong. This time it is a going seg that's gone to space. I mean, it's not exploded or on fire, so it's not a proper FailRace car meet. However, that's a decent distance. That is a decent distance and height indeed. Jay Duckers on Forza Horizon 3 up next, driving a Cadillac Escalade. Gets things wrong across a jump. Thankfully, there is a Camaro there to help him out of a jam. Well, I say kind of help him out of a jam. I mean, carry him along through a tunnel before eventually being deposited on the other side. Always good when there's a hateful AI nearby, Mugen on Forza 7 has noticed a peculiar thing that goes on. Obviously had a big off down at the chase here. However, if you tap the accelerator and brake at different times while the car is upside down, you can make it roll about. Of course, the game is busy trying to self-right the car, but apparently accelerate makes it roll one way, brake makes it roll the other, so if you're very careful, you can do a little turtle dance in the gravel trap. I mean, I'm not quite sure where this is going to be of any use, other than it's quite funny watching the cars flop around. If only if you could kind of keep it rolling just sort of indefinitely along. That would definitely be called the FailRace switch. However, this is still... Poor Ford. Poor Ford just wants to go back on its wheels, but nope, it's going to stay rolling about in the sand. Or maybe it's having a lot of fun in the sand. Who knows? Stinty Boy on Forza 7. Now, this was during the filming for our relay race, and, well, someone had lagged out as soon as we joined into the lobby, which was kind of par for the course with a lot of this. Now, I, getting a bit frustrated in the 2C VTEC, had had enough and decided to bump into some of the Chrome cars. Apparently, 2C VTEC versus Ferrari, the Citroen's quite strong, but the Citroen is very strong indeed. Up next, sticking with Forza 7. This is Akbar. Now, I will start by saying here that I've had to massively brighten this footage because, for whatever reason, the game kind of didn't really bother with lighting, like, at all. Racing at Nurburgring, half of these sort of Group C cars and Le Mans cars don't even have their lights turned on, so no one can really see what they're doing, which is not particularly good when the car leading the way, it gets things wrong, climbs a curb, spins in front of the pack, and the car we're riding on board with here just about stops in time, but gets scooped and picked up by somebody further behind, and that's not a good way to have a race start. It's so dark. Yeah, you can't see to avoid that. Y2K Pac-Man on NFS Payback getting a very, very close call. We've seen players murder AI cars in this game, but this time it's just a full-on AI mistake, hits the wall, pings up into the air, is twisting and tumbling, and the Mustang gets scraped, but just gets away with only a roof scrape. That is a hell of a lucky call. Viperfan 2000 on GT Sport is trying to sneak up the inside of a Viper, a bit too much speed, doesn't quite get that one correct, and is going for many a spin. Now, in his attempts to try and get going again, well, he keeps his foot down, and, well, the wheels never stop spinning. So the wheels haven't stopped spinning since the initial point of impact. Now, of course, yes, the sensible thing to do is to let off of the accelerator, but also note that this is in fourth gear, and it's just, once the KTM's got going with the wheel spin, it's perfectly happy to just burn up those rear tyres. It's also not helped, I think, by where it's got sort of stuck slightly on the banking. Sometimes cars get a little bit unhappy, and now it's just become a contest of how long can you spin the wheels for, eventually coming to an end when he bumps into the wall. That's an impressive length of wheels. That's 40 seconds of wheel spin nearly. Dew on Far Cry 5 is first of all having a fight with the auto drive that's taking him off-road, then spots an enemy wanting to go and run him over. Not quite paying attention to the huge amount of fire and the fact that, well, that was a flamethrower enemy and now he set fire to himself and his truck. Probably not a good idea to run over a guy holding a flamethrower. Little bit of a dangerous thing, and his ally fell out of the truck in pain. I could imagine in pain. Also, the truck's exploded as well now. There's no truck anymore. Neon UFO on PUBG is riding around on a motorbike when physics get glitchy and, well, the bike falls over. Players fall off without too much trouble. However, Motorbike is, well, kind of happy just to slowly roll, and there's not really much you can do while Motorbike very slowly rolls down a hill. It's a good thing no one was watching. It's a good thing there was nobody around watching, because that would have been a very easy kill. Just two people sat there watching a bike slowly tumble down a hill. It does eventually come to a rest and they can get it back up and continue their adventures, but there we go. And finally, Toyotaholics on Project Cars 2. Now, I'm not sure if it's the player in this NSX or an AI car. The airways have made a mess either way at Bathurst. The NSX can't get stopped in time, only realising there's a mess too late. Collects an AI, or collects a Cadillac, and then proceeds to continue carrying said Cadillac. Now, cars on top of other cars we've seen before in Project Cars 2. Normally they kind of go underneath, they get spat out the other side. Oh no, this time the NSX is happy to carry the ATS-V. Admittedly, they're a little bit stuck on the wall all the way around there. Still going. I mean, suspension's a little bit bobbly. The Cadillac does eventually slide over the top. That might be the record for the longest carry that we have seen on a FailRace episode. It's a pretty damn impressive carry. I mean, that's near enough 2 corners, and they were uphill. So, there we go. We may well have a new record. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the forums is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. But that's going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.